What would you do if the only path to freedom was through a deadly game where survival isn't guaranteed? Welcome back to Plot in Minutes, where today we're diving into the high-octane dystopian thriller Death Race from 2008, a film that asks just how far you'd go when you have absolutely nothing left to lose. Before we hit the gas, if you're new here and you love detailed movie breakdowns like this one, do yourself a favor and hit that subscribe button. Seriously, YouTube analytics show that most of you watching haven't subscribed yet, and trust me, you don't want to miss the incredible movie recaps we've got coming your way. Now, let's race into this story. Picture this. It's 2013, and America as we know it has completely imploded. The economy hasn't just crashed, it's been obliterated. Unemployment is through the roof, crime has become the new normal, and the prison system, well, that's become the hottest business opportunity around. Enter Terminal Island Penitentiary, a privatized prison run by the calculating and ruthless Warden Hennessy. But Hennessy isn't just running a prison. She's running an empire. Her golden goose? A brutal pay-per-view spectacle called Death Race, where prisoners don't just serve time, they fight for their lives on live television while the world watches and Hennessy cashes in. Here's how this twisted game works. Prisoners race souped-up weaponized vehicles across a closed track on Terminal Island over 3 days. The track itself is a death trap, rigged with pressure plates that activate different systems. Hit a sword symbol, and your offensive weapons come online. Machine guns, rockets, you name it. Drive over a shield, and you get defensive options like oil slicks, smoke screens, and napalm. But here's where it gets truly deadly. Skull plates, nicknamed death heads, trigger massive metal traps that shoot up from the track itself, designed to tear vehicles and drivers apart. Each driver has a navigator riding shotgun, calling out positions and managing weapon systems. The ultimate prize? Win 5 races and you walk out a free man. But with the kind of carnage these races produce, most drivers don't even survive one. At the top of this deadly food chain is a driver who's become a legend, Frankenstein. Always masked, always dangerous, Frankenstein is approaching his 5th and final victory. The crowd's favorite, the ratings king, the driver everyone bets on. As the latest race reaches its climax, only 2 cars remain, Frankenstein and his bitter rival, Machine Gun Joe. Frankenstein's navigator, a woman named Case, reports a critical problem. Their defensive systems are failing. In desperation, Frankenstein drops the tombstone, a massive iron block that hangs off the back of the car as a last-ditch defense mechanism. But Joe's too skilled. He dodges it, and what happens next is pure chaos. Case ejects from the vehicle, just seconds before Joe's weapons obliterate Frankenstein's car, sending it flipping through the air in a spectacular explosion. The crowd goes wild. But behind closed doors at Terminal Island, the truth is far darker. Frankenstein didn't just lose, he died on the operating table. The prison's most valuable asset is gone. But here's the thing about Warden Hennessy. She didn't build this empire by accepting defeat. Now let's rewind and meet our real protagonist, Jensen Ames. On the outside, Jensen is just trying to survive. He's a former NASCAR driver, talented, skilled, but that life is long behind him. Now he's working at a steel factory, grinding through 12-hour shifts to provide for his wife and their newborn daughter, Piper. He's got exactly $300 to his name when the factory shuts down. That night, Jensen makes a promise to his wife. Somehow, someway, he'll take care of them. He's a fighter. He won't let his family down. But fate has other plans. Without warning, a masked assailant bursts into their home and attacks Jensen, knocking him unconscious. As Jensen's vision fades, he sees something strange. The attacker makes a gun gesture with his hand, pointing it right at Jensen's head. Then everything goes black. When Jensen wakes up, he's lying in a pool of blood. But it's not his blood, it's his wife's. She's been murdered. And Jensen? He's holding the murder weapon. The police arrive, the evidence is overwhelming. And despite his protests of innocence, Jensen Ames is arrested, convicted, and sentenced to Terminal Island Penitentiary. 6 months later, Jensen is just another prisoner in Orange, trying to navigate the dangerous politics of life behind bars. He immediately runs afoul of Pachenko, a vicious member of the Aryan Brotherhood gang who seems to have it out for him from day one. But before things can escalate too far, Jensen gets summoned for a very special meeting with Warden Hennessy herself. Hennessy lays out a proposition that sounds too good to be true, because it absolutely is. She tells him the truth. Frankenstein is dead. The public doesn't know, the other racers don't know, but she needs someone to take his place. The ratings depend on it. Her entire operation depends on it. This is where Jensen's past becomes his prison sentence in more ways than one. Hennessy knows all about his NASCAR background, his driving skills, his desperate situation. And she dangles the ultimate carrot. Take on the Frankenstein identity, win just one more race, and walk free. After all, Frankenstein already had 4 wins. One more, and Jensen gets his life back, gets to see his daughter again. Jensen has no choice, and Hennessy knows it. He'll wear the mask. He'll become the legend, and only a handful of people will know the truth. Those people include his pit crew, Coach, a brilliant mechanic who's deliberately staying in prison for reasons of his own, Gunner, a skilled technician, and Lists, an unstable but talented crew member serving time for fraud. These men will keep Jensen alive if he can survive long enough. There's also Case, Frankenstein's former navigator, who immediately knows Jensen isn't the driver she worked with before. But she has her own secrets, and she's not talking. Day 1 of the 3-day race arrives, and Jensen straps into Frankenstein's rebuilt car with Case riding shotgun. The starting line is chaos. Engines roaring, prisoners screaming, weapons systems charging up. When that flag drops, all hell breaks loose. Jensen proves he's got the skills to back up the legend. He handles the car beautifully, taking out another racer and holding his position. But then, disaster strikes. His defensive weapons malfunction. The shields won't activate. The oil slicks won't deploy. It's exactly what happened to the original Frankenstein in his final race. Then, Jensen sees him, Pachenko, racing alongside him in another vehicle. And Pachenko makes that same gesture, that same gun pointed at Jensen's head. In that moment, everything clicks. The home invasion, the murder, Jensen's distraction costs him machine gun. Joe slams into his vehicle and Jensen limps across the finish line in last place. The day's carnage is brutal. 3 racers dead, Siad, Hector Grimm, and Travis Colt. Their cars are twisted metal. Their blood stains the track. And this is only day 1. That night, Jensen confronts the truth he's been suspecting. Hennessy orchestrated everything. She had Pachenko murder Jensen's wife and frame him for it, all so she could recruit him as Frankenstein's replacement. His entire life was destroyed just to keep her ratings up, to keep the money flowing. Day 2, and Jensen's done playing Hennessy's game by her rules. He forces Case to tell him the truth. She's been sabotaging the defensive systems on Hennessy's orders. Not to kill the drivers, but to keep them from winning. To keep Frankenstein trapped in the race forever, generating profits indefinitely. Case wasn't supposed to be a murderer, just a pawn. Promised her freedom in exchange for ensuring Frankenstein never escaped. But now, Jensen has a target, and it's not the finish line. It's Pachenko. During the race, Jensen hunts him down with cold precision, He forces Pachenko's car into a devastating crash. The vehicle flips, metal screams, and when it finally stops rolling, Jensen climbs out of his own car. He walks over to Pachenko's wreckage, reaches in, and breaks the man's neck. Justice delivered, Terminal Island style. But Hennessy isn't about to let her ratings drop. She unleashes something the racers have never seen before, the Dreadnought. This thing is a monster, an 18-wheel tanker truck covered in armor and bristling with weapons. It's not racing for freedom, it's racing to kill. The Dreadnought tears through the field like a mechanical reaper. 3 more racers go down, Carson, Riggins, and 14K. Their cars obliterated by this unstoppable juggernaut. Hennessy watches from her control room, her ratings skyrocketing as the body count rises. But Jensen does something unexpected. He reaches out to Machine Gun Joe, his rival, his enemy, and proposes an alliance. Together, they coordinate their movements and lure the Dreadnought over a death head pressure plate. The trap springs, massive metal spikes, tear upward, and the Dreadnought explodes in a fireball that lights up the entire track. Hennessy's shock is palpable, and Joe? He's figured out that the man behind Frankenstein's mask isn't who everyone thinks. Jensen's driving style, his tactics, his voice over the radio, it all gave him away. Hennessy knows Jensen has figured out her game, so she pretends to play nice. She tells him she'll honor the deal, win the race, go free. But maybe, just maybe, he'd consider staying on as Frankenstein permanently. The perks would be incredible. The comfort, the privileges. Jensen sees right through it. So does Coach. As a precaution, Hennessy has a bomb planted under Jensen's car. If he wins, if he tries to leave, if he becomes a problem, boom! She'll just find another driver to wear the mask. Day 3 arrives, the final race, the one that should set Jensen free. But Hennessy stacks the deck against him one more time. She deliberately prevents his weapons from activating, while giving Joe full access to his arsenal. She's trying to ensure Jensen doesn't make it to the finish line alive. But here's what Hennessy doesn't know. Jensen, Case, and Joe have been studying the race footage, particularly Hector Grimm's death. They've found something, a weak point in the prison wall, damaged during a previous race. It's their way out. When the moment comes, Jensen and Joe don't race for the finish line. They race for freedom. Their cars smash through the weakened wall, concrete exploding, alarms blaring. They're off the track. They're heading for the bridge to the mainland. Hennessy frantically tries to detonate the bomb under Jensen's car, her finger hammering the button. But nothing happened. Coach and his team already found it. They removed it hours ago. Desperate, Hennessy sends attack helicopters after the escapees. Machine guns blaze as Jensen, Case, and Joe race across the bridge. They split up to divide the pursuit. The helicopters follow Hennessy's orders to prioritize Frankenstein, to prioritize Jensen. That's when Case makes her move. She puts on the Frankenstein mask and offers herself as bait, deliberately drawing the helicopters toward her car. She's repaying a debt to the original Frankenstein, to Niles, who died because of her sabotage. And besides, Hennessy already gave her the release papers. She's technically free. Case is captured, but Jensen and Joe reach a freight train heading out of the area. They jump aboard and disappear into the night. Back at Terminal Island, Hennessy is furious about the escape, but she's also celebrating. The pay-per-view numbers are astronomical. Millions of dollars are pouring in. Then she receives a gift, a package delivered anonymously to celebrate her record-breaking ratings. She opens it, curious. Inside is the bomb. The very bomb she tried to use to kill Jensen. Miles away, Coach holds a remote detonator. He presses the button. The bomb explodes, killing Hennessy and her right-hand man, Ulrich, instantly. 6 months later, somewhere in Mexico, Jensen Ames is living under a new identity. He's working as a mechanic at a used car dealership alongside Joe. And most importantly, he has his daughter Piper with him. She's growing, she's safe, she's loved. Then Case pulls up in a modified 1970 Chevy Chevelle SS that she won in a card game, because of course she did. The crew gathers around the car, admiring the work, talking shop like old friends who survived hell together. Jensen watches his daughter laugh, and he reflects on everything, the losses, the violence, the corruption. But in the end, Piper is his second chance, his opportunity to be something better than what the world tried to make him. And there you have it, Death Race, a film that takes the concept of gladiatorial combat and smashes it together with high-speed racing, corrupt systems, and one man's desperate fight for freedom. It's brutal, it's explosive, and it asks uncomfortable questions about how entertainment and exploitation can become one and the same. What did you think of Death Race? Would you have taken Hennessy's deal? Let me know in the comments below. And remember, if you enjoyed this deep dive, that subscribe button is right there. Hit it so you never miss our movie recaps. Until next time, this has been Plot in Minutes, and I'll see you in the next one.